Saxon Algebra 1, half lesson 74. We're going to talk about inserting parentheses today. Now, in this topic, we're going to refer back to the infamous story of the meadow, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to practice adding a row of numbers that some are positive numbers and some are negative numbers. And so we'll be thinking about climbing up and down the ladder. As we do so, remember that when we're adding a negative number, it means we're going deeper into the hole. When we're adding a positive number, it means we're going up toward the sunlight. It doesn't matter where we are on the ladder to begin with. It simply matters that when we see a negative number, we go down further, and even if we're up here, we go down, and if we're adding a positive number, we're going up toward the sun, no matter where we are in the ladder. So keep this in your brain. Now, what John does is he has a helpful organizing tool that he is recommending to us. He's giving us a string of numbers that look like this. He tells us to add. Okay, now very soon we'll be able to do this without any fooling around. But what John recommends right now is package each number into a set of parentheses with the appropriate sign so that we can see each step in this addition problem as a specific step on the ladder with the sign and the number of steps packaged as a single unit. See how I did that? I just gathered them up, and then I'm going to put plus signs in between the parentheses. Now this is kind of, for some students this feels like much ado about nothing. For other students this is very helpful. If you're a student who's like, this is easy, why are we making it more confusing? Just play along, it's fine. If you're a student who says, yeah, this actually helps me, fabulous, we're here for you. All right, so what that means is that we start at 0, and this tells us to go down 2. So now we're at -2. This tells us to go up 3. So going up 3 steps will get us to 0 and then to +1. Then we have to go down 5 again. That's going to get us to -4, right? We'll use up one of those 5 steps getting to 0, and then we'll go 4 more in the hole. And now we go 7 up toward the sunlight. That will get us back to 0 and then to +3. So as I envision this as a series of steps, directions and number of steps on the ladder, it helps me calculate the answer. And when we're working these problems, it is super helpful to put a plus in front of the positive numbers. Later we'll drop that step, we'll make it a little bit easier. We won't have to write so much, but for now it's really helpful to make sure we know our positives and our negatives very distinctly. Let's practice one more of these. And here's the string of numbers John wants us to add: -3, -2, -6, +2, -7. I write them out just the way John does, and then I use parentheses to bundle each step with a sign and a number, and then I squeeze little plus signs in between. Sometimes it's hard to fit them, but that's fine. We know we're not multiplying these, we are adding all of these. All right, so here we go. We start at 0, we go down 3. Notice that I make this little note down here that tells me where I am at the end of that step. So we go from 0 to -3. We go from 0, 3 steps down into the hole. That's -3. Then we go 2 more further down in the hole. That's -5. Whoa, then we go 6 more, -11. Now we turn and go back up 2, closer to the hole. So that gets us to -9. And then, whoa, 7 more gets us to -16. All right, you can carry these details in your head, but it doesn't take very long before this chunk of numbers starts to overwhelm you. And as you do like 3 problems in a row of these, your head will get mushy. Just make little notes. You don't have to write it all out, excuse me, in a fancy way, but just make little notes to yourself so that you can keep track of where you are. Okay, and then there's one more problem that helps us make sense of these problems. There's one more problem and I'm going to explain something else to you. -3, -2. Okay, this is like the other ones that we've done. And we can package, again, the sign and the number of steps inside parentheses. That's the whole point of this lesson, is learning how to insert or add those parentheses to our problem. Remember, we are not multiplying. We are adding all of these together, positive and negative numbers. Now, we have been working these first two problems by going up and down, just following in the flow of the problem. And we could do that here. That would work. We'd go down, down, up, down, up. But you know what? That is tedious. That is a lot of drama. So a really great suggestion, sorry, I can't talk. I can do math all day, but I can't talk. First, get all the positive numbers. All right, we have a +3 and a +5. Let's add those. So we have +8, and then we'll add all the negative numbers, -3, -2, -4. So we add together 3, 2, and 4. That's the total of all our negative numbers. Now, once we've done that, we can combine these two, and that way we don't have to keep climbing around. We just put all the positives together, all the negatives together, and then compare, and we can see if I take 8 steps up and then 9 steps down, I'm going to end at -1. And that is the right answer. This is the right answer. These have been the right answer too. Okay? So we can just go willy-nilly on the ladder and keep climbing up and down, or we can make things a little easier for ourselves and make one big negative number, one big positive number, and then imagine that on the ladder to get our answer. That, my friends, is the end of lesson 74. I know this probably doesn't sound like much, and maybe it even sounds like we're making a big fuss out of nothing, but I'll tell you what, as easy as this seems, it is so natural to get turned around and confused and go the wrong way and make tiny mistakes in this. It happens to every student. It happens to me. So be patient and realize that your brain is learning something that's not difficult, but it requires constant attention and concentration. So be careful and work diligently. Don't try to go fast in these. Make sure that you're taking your time so that you don't have to rework your problems every 2 seconds, every hot minute. Okay, that's lesson 74. We are making progress. This whole thing of adding and subtracting sign numbers is a really big deal for preparing you for algebra, because once we get to algebra, we're going to be doing this in the midst of all kinds of other chaos, and so we want to be really good at it. Chaos. Did I say chaos? Algebra is never chaotic. In the midst of other mathematical bliss. How about that? It's going to be so much fun. Okay, I am done completely with lesson 74. Thank you. Goodbye.